When we talk about famine in Ireland, one tragedy comes to mind: the Great Famine of the 1840s, over 1 million dead, another million forced to flee, a nation changed forever. But what if I told you that wasn't the only famine to scar Ireland? This is the story of the forgotten famines, the ones that came before and after, and were no less devastating. Between the 1700s and early 1900s, Ireland experienced multiple famines and food crises, many of them erased from collective memory. These were not just natural disasters, they were products of colonial policy, land mismanagement, and deep social inequality. Take the famine of 1740 to 1741, known as Blight and Air, the Year of Slaughter. It was one of the deadliest events in Irish history. A harsh winter, failed harvests, and outbreaks of disease led to the deaths of an estimated 400,000 people, around 20% of the population at the time. There was the famine of 1816 to 17, following the Year Without a Summer, caused by a volcanic eruption in Indonesia. The skies darkened, crops failed, and hunger spread across Europe, but Ireland, already poor and dependent on imports, suffered disproportionately. And even after the Great Famine, more famines struck. In the 1879 famine, often called the mini-famine, people in the west of Ireland faced starvation again. Relief came, but too late for many. By then the pattern was clear: Ireland's vulnerability wasn't just about potatoes, it was about power, policy, and poverty. So why don't we talk about these other famines? Because the Great Famine became the symbol, the one taught in schools, memorialized in statues, and remembered globally. And rightfully so. But the others? They were often seen as shameful, inconvenient, or just not tragic enough to make history books. Yet each of these famines tells us something important about how fragile life was in colonial Ireland, and how decisions made in London echoed through Irish fields and homes. The forgotten famines are more than historical footnotes. They're warnings. Warnings about inequality, about dependency, about what happens when a people's fate is left in someone else's hands. And as we face modern food insecurity and climate instability today, maybe it's time to remember them. Subscribe for more untold stories from Irish history.